The last thing you want to be affected by on board an aircraft is food poisoning. It's even worse when it comes from a badly prepared meal with other passengers being affected. It has been said that 2 pilots or more on board a plane generally eat different meals to reduce the rare risk of food poisoning. But is this true? We'll be looking in depth at this today, so let's get into it. And yes, happy Halloween to wherever you are in the world. How common is mass food poisoning? Well, you may be surprised to hear that food poisoning is one of the rarest ailments aboard an aircraft. Yes, it could be deadly for some, but is mostly unpleasant and would involve hundreds of passengers needing to use a bathroom simultaneously. A thought that is more horrible than we would like to think about. Fortunately, this type of event is scarce. An example of this occurring was on a Concorde flight in 1984, when nearly all of the passengers on board and several flight attendants contracted salmonellosis. 120 passengers across the BA flight contracted the virus and had to be treated while on board. 1 passenger died from complications. However, the pilots turned out to be fine, but not because they followed any rules. It turns out that in 1984 there were no rules about what meals pilots can or cannot eat. But the belief, which is shared even by scientists at the Centers for Disease Control, is false. According to spokesmen for the Civil Aeronautics Board, no airline industry regulations govern food service to the cockpit crews, the Federal Aviation Administration, and various pilot and industry associations. Another example was a Tokyo to Paris Japan Airlines flight in 1975, when 143 of the 364 passengers became sick with food poisoning. The pilots managed to avoid it because they didn't eat the bad eggs, but they had the dinner option thanks to their jet lag. A close call. While no one died from the event, the cook who prepared the meal apparently took their own life in the tragic fallout. What is a policy today? While there is no written rule by the aviation authorities, airlines can practice good practice to differentiate meals between pilots and co-pilots just in case. Korean Air has a system of choosing what meals to eat based on how senior the commanding pilot is. Quote, "The pilot and the co-pilot eat different meals." According to the pilot in an interview with CNN, quote, "Usually the pilot gets a first-class meal and the co-pilot gets a business-class meal." This is just in case one of the meals might cause food poisoning. Other airlines prepare separate meals for the pilots not only from each other but independent of their mass-produced passenger meals. Not just to protect the pilots, but also to give them some variety. After all, if they are flying daily routes, they would have tried everything on the menu. Quote, "Meals for the crew are based on individual preferences and job requirements. The meals are not the same as those offered to passengers, although the selection of the hot dishes is the same for crew and business class passengers," an Aeroflot pilot said to Travel.com. So what do you think? Should pilots have different meals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But that is all for today. So if you are new around here, do subscribe if you like this sort of content, as this helps me on the channel massively. Also, drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed and learned something today. So, until next time, keep your eyes on the skies.